So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mels Gaming here with another Way of the Hunter video. Now this video is going to be something a little bit different. In this video we are going to be going for 100% achievements here in Way of the Hunter. Now, I already had most of the achievements completed just through my time playing in the game, but there were a handful that I still needed to get. So in this video, we're going to go through, complete the last achievements I needed to 100% this game, and whilst we do that, we are going to take a really good number of trophy animals along the way, starting off with this female melanistic Alaskan moose. So I had one achievement left here on Aurora Shores that I needed to get, and that was the hours of work achievement to have 50 different animals taxidermized in the Aurora Shores Trophy Lodge at the same time. And I had a slot here that was perfect for a rare female moose next to this big 5-star, and you can see placing her in the lodge gives us the hours of work achievement. So seeing as I only needed one animal for the lodge for that, that was a nice easy achievement to get. Now, moving over to Tikamoon Plains, and I had a few achievements that I needed to get over here. Now, one of the achievements I needed to get was Task Force Tikamoon, which is to complete all of the task missions that you can get at the campsites. Now, you can see we're doing Dawn of a New Day here, and we had to harvest a greater kudu between 6 AM and 10 AM, and one from 4 PM to 8 AM. And for the afternoon's time slot there, I ended up finding this big 5-star mature kudu bull. And obviously this is a perfect animal to take down. It was right at the right time. So I figured this would be a really nice animal to actually complete this particular mission. 97.94% on the genetics and a 494 score. So actually a really big 5-star kudu as well. And that completes the mission Dawn of a New Day. Now, moving on to the next mission, and we have Uncut Gems. We had to harvest a female Gemsbok, and then a male with a trophy rating of 4-star or higher. Well, I never shoot 4-star animals in this game. I always wait and see if they'll make 5-star or if they'll die. And I actually found this particular male Gemsbok, I believe as a 3-star mature, but he looked pretty young and I knew that they could live as matures for quite a while. Let him age, he went to 4-star, so let him age even further and he did become a 5-star. I would still always recommend against shooting 4-stars, just let them live and see if they make it, and if not, then hopefully they pass on their genes to, you know, their successors. This guy is a 97.04% on the genetics and scores 463. I do think I could have left him, you know, a bit longer then, considering that, because, you know, that's a pretty low score for that, you know, high genetic percentage, but I wasn't really going to risk him dying as a 5-star either, considering I needed one a 4-star or higher for that mission, and it's also a species I haven't had a lot of 5-stars for, so I was really, you know, just at that point focused on taking him, getting that mission completed, so I'm really happy with that, regardless of the slightly lower score than potentially he could have had. Now, this mission, the Widowmaker, was a really tough one. Harvest 2 Cape Buffalo with a trophy rating of 4-star or more, and shoot the buffalo using a crossbow equipped with the Overguard Reliance Red Dot, which is this sight that we have on here. Now, we have a 5-star Cape Buffalo right there, and these guys are so hard to get close to. There's no caller for the Cape Buffalo, you just have to rely on basically being able to stalk in close enough, and the buffalo being curious enough to come and investigate you, which is exactly what happened there. And as he turned, I had a split-second opportunity to try and make that shot. I had to try and get it past the female, so it was a bit far back, but as you'll see, dropped him on the spot at 25 meters. This guy is an 87.23% on the genetics, and I honestly was really happy with that. 472 score, I was just really happy with how that went. To get that guy as easy as that went was a real relief. Now, in that herd, there had also been another 4-star, which, again, I let age because I don't shoot 4-stars, and he turned into a 5-star. Now, this is my third attempt at shooting this buffalo, because this buffalo would simply not cooperate. And as you can see, I had to take a much longer shot. And at this point, thankfully, he dropped. Now, like I said, there were 2 poorer shots on him previous to this, but for the sake of the video, I've decided to just include the kill shot, and we can look at what happened with the other 2 shots here in this screen. So the first shot was just too low, and the second shot would have been fine, but it just was a little bit too far to the side and went directly between the lungs. Really, really unfortunate. That could have hit the heart if it had been a slightly different height. Just really unfortunate. But the third shot actually got the bottom of the spine, and that's what killed him, I think. So that was a bit of a trickier one with this guy. It took a long time to try and get him down, but persistence eventually paid off, and we got him at 88.8% genetics. So 2 5 stars for the Widowmaker mission, which I think was pretty cool. This guy scores 475, and again, I was just relieved to get this guy down. That was such a long process. 3 attempts, and then finally he went down. Such a relief when I finally saw him drop. And honestly, I really hated using that site, and that was part of my issue with that particular mission. Because this next mission, Taste of Medicine, to harvest 2 honey badgers with a trophy rating of 3 star or more, fatally wounded with a single arrow or bolt double lung shot, I found that much easier because I was able to use my preferred crossbow scope, which is the one you will have just seen me using. It's a much better scope. You can really adjust for the different distances a lot easier, and as you can see, nice clean double lung shot there to bring down this honey badger at 40 meters. Really happy with that shot. 3 star mature, 79%. I knew that this guy shouldn't get much bigger based off of, you know, what I had seen from this particular set of badgers, so I was really happy with that. And with that, we get Task Force Tikamoon to complete all the challenges on Tikamoon Plains. That was a really cool way to finish that off with just a nice clean shot. Now, there were a couple of other achievements that I needed to grab here on Tikamoon Plains, including this one, to take every animal here on Tikamoon Plains with the bow. Now, there were a couple of species that apparently I had never shot with the bow, which included the hyena and the black wildebeest. So I did the hyena, went and shot one of those with the bow, and that went smoothly, and then the last one that I needed to get was actually the black wildebeest. So took this one here, very poor genetic male, but, you know, came in nicely to the call and gave me a good opportunity at a shot. He ran a little way with that shot, and actually I found him dead in the water, but that did give us the Bow Down Mister achievement, or Bow Down Mister achievement, which is to harvest every single animal here on Tikamoon Plains with the bow. And for this next achievement, a little bit of a bizarre one, because this achievement was to harvest every animal on Tikamoon Plains with a heart shot. And the last animal I needed to get a heart shot on was the Egyptian goose. So I decided to use the biggest gun possible and just basically aim for about where I thought the heart should be and hope that there would be enough damage for it to count as a heart shot. And thankfully that worked, and we get the Don QP achievement for that, to harvest every animal on Tikamoon Plains with a heart shot. So it was basically a Texas heart shot, but worked out fine for that achievement. Now, heading over to Matariki Park, which is where we'll be spending the rest of this video, as this is where the last few achievements are that I needed to get. Now, one of the achievements that I needed was to complete all of the landowner tasks, and this was the very last task, was to harvest a male sambar deer in this particular region of the map. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but this is a low fitness area anyway for the sambar. I've never seen anything bigger than, I think, a small 4-star, so I just harvested the first one I could, and then it tells us to check back at the landowner's cabin, so we head over there, and there's the thank you note, and that gives us, that was choice, complete all the job requests in Matariki Park. So that was a really nice one to actually just get done. That was actually one of the rarer achievements as well. And, you know, I bought all of the land passes when I got this map initially, so those were missions I just hadn't done. They were really, really easy, didn't take very long to complete, and that gave us one of the last achievements we actually needed. Now, moving on to the final achievement that we needed in Way of the Hunter, and we had to basically do the same thing that we did over on Tikamoon Plains and complete all of the campsite tasks. Now, for this one, helicopter hunting, we needed to harvest a red deer with a trophy rating of 5-star. Now, I actually ended up with a really nice double here because not just one, but 2 5-star red deer were in this herd. Now, this is the famous Red Deer Creek down in the lowland forest. It is such a good area for high genetic red deer. I've shown it off in previous videos and talked about it a lot. It is just an absolute hotspot for these giant 5-star red deer here on New Zealand. So I came down here, there was a couple of 4 stars, I waited and they both aged up into 5 stars, which meant that we could get not just the one from the herd, but 2. Now, the first one ends up being a 474.9 scoring one. This actually ends up being the bigger one of the 2, the slightly older one, and that ends up giving us the mission completion there for helicopter hunting. And then we go and pick up the one that we shot at longer range after he had finished fleeing. 476 meter shot, I was pretty happy with that. Little bit high, but more than enough to bring him down. He ends up being 98.9% on the genetics, but turns out he was actually a younger stag than the previous one that we shot, and he's going to end up having a lower score at 461.0. But I didn't know how old exactly he was, so just seeing him as a 5-star, I decided to actually just take him there. Now, one of the other missions was the biggest export mission, which was to harvest a 5-star Rocky Mountain elk. Now, ended up spotting this guy as a 4-star. He looked super grey, and I wasn't sure if he was actually going to make it. And I was really crossing my fingers that he was, because honestly, even though this is a herd that has produced multiple 5-stars for me in the past, there wasn't really any promising up-and-comers, so I knew that if this guy didn't make it, I was going to have to do some management just to try and get another 5-star for this particular mission. So when this guy made it, I was really relieved. I should also mention at this point, there were other missions, you know, for these go and complete all the tasks at the campsites missions. But, you know, a lot of them were very boring. Just harvest a pheasant with a shotgun, harvest a guinea fowl with a crossbow, those kind of things. So I'm just focusing on the missions where we got trophies and that were a bit more interesting. Now, this guy was a 92.66%, and honestly, I'm not surprised that he was lower end on the genetics, because like I said, he didn't look massive and I wasn't sure he was going to make it, but he does at 474.9, which actually completes the biggest export mission, and I was super relieved that that one actually was done as quickly as it was. Now, after getting a double with the 5-star red deer in one herd, when I went to do the distant relative mission to harvest a Himalayan tahr that weighs 87 kg or more, I actually ended up with another double with 2 5-star Himalayan tahr in the same herd. Now, the Himalayan tahr are such a cool species here on Matariki. They look amazing model-wise, and their horns are huge on the 5 stars, but they're still off in terms of scaling. Like, they're far too small. I can't get over it. Every time I go to hunt them, they're just such itty-bitty tiny little creatures in Way of the Hunter, and they shouldn't be this small, so it's always very strange. This guy ends up being a 463. He was just over 94% on the genetics, and he was a, you know, more than 87 kg weight, so that completes the mission. But obviously I went and tracked down the herd and took out the second 5-star as they were here on the side of this hill. And you can see the 5-star just sliding down there. And I wondered if this one was going to be bigger or smaller than the previous one, because I mean they just look huge with those horns. And again, I think if they were scaled more correctly with the actual body models, then maybe they wouldn't look so ridiculously huge. But this guy ends up being a 92.49%, so genetically a little bit smaller, and this guy also would have completed that mission with the 92 kg weight, and he ends up scoring 458, so smaller than the first one. We took the bigger one as the first one, so that was nice just to end up with 2 5-stars from that herd to complete that mission. And finally, for the last mission to get this achievement, we have Deer in the Night. Harvest a sandbar deer with a trophy rating of 5-star. Now, this was the first time I've actually hunted sandbar since the ability to call them in was added with the rattling bag, and it was really cool to be able to call in this beautiful, massive looking 5-star sandbar. I mean, these guys are beautiful, and I do apologise, it was a bit laggy in this area, and as he was walking in, it was unfortunately lagging a little bit, but the sandbar are so beautiful. Like, I really love the models for these guys. They are absolutely stunning. So, so beautiful, and their antlers are awesome. I love all the masks that they have. And I saw this guy as a 3-star adult, then he went to 3-star mature, 4-star mature, and finally 5-star mature. So I was really happy to finally see him actually get there and be able to take this guy as the last animal I needed to get 100% achievements here in Way of the Hunter. Just makes it at 461. Probably could have left him a little bit, I think, based on the genetics. But as soon as he hit 5-star, I just wanted to take him, get that achievement, and that is it. Task Force Matariki is completed, and with that, we have 100% completion here in Way of the Hunter in terms of achievements. 42 achievements out of 42 achievements. I was really, really happy to actually get this. It's something that I've been, starting to do this year, is start, trying to 100% games. And I started it actually a little bit last year with 100%ing Call of the Wilds achievements. But I want to do it even more so this year. There's more games I plan on going for 100% for. And of course, the main games here that I play on the channel, like Way of the Hunter, were ones that obviously I wanted to go for 100% for. And I'm just really, really pleased that I managed to do it. A few really quite rare achievements amongst them, and you can see all of the last ones I got were rare achievements. So yeah, it was really cool, and we got a ton of trophies along the way. And it wasn't lost on me as that sandbar was walking in that effectively my last achievement was walking towards me as a trophy animal. So hunting for an achievement by taking a trophy, which I thought was quite ironic but also really, really cool. But that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Like I said, something a little bit different to my normal Way of the Hunter videos, but also kind of similar because we were still hunting trophies. But just hunting trophies in a couple of different ways, I guess. But that is going to be it for this one, so thank you so much for watching and for all your amazing support as always, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.